What's up YouTube, Matt here. So we are back again for another deck and fight, and this time we are with Get a Sanctuary, and we have got the Majesty Lord Blaster. So as per usual, we're going to cover the deck, explain the cards, then go into a ranked fight, see how it plays, and go from there. So let's get started with the boss monster, and that is the Majesty Lord Blaster. So Majesty Lord Blaster's got two skills. First one being Continuous Vanguard Circle. If your soul has a Blaster Dart and Blaster Blade, this unit gets power plus 2000, critical plus 1. Second skill is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can perform all the following. First one being put a Blaster Blade from your rearguard into your soul to choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Second one is putting a Blaster Dart from your rearguard into your soul, and this unit gets drive plus 1 to land a turn. So the 15k base is active in both players' turns. So it does give a nice little bit of defensive and forces with nicer guarding numbers versus your opponent. The second skill, however, the triple drive is really nice for the deck, but the retiring the rear guards is very matchup specific, so you don't utilize that as much, I think is the best way to put it. But let's have a dive in and see what Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark do. And we're going to start off with Blaster Blade because he is in our right deck. And Blaster Blade has got the skills of also, when his unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, you can Cat Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. If you did not retire a card, you then get to draw a card. And his second skill is when this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, Cat Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or greater rear guards and retire it. So you can see why Blaster Blade gives the retire skill via Majesty Lord Blaster. The extra on-ride grade 2, retiring anything, then drawing a card if you fail. You've got a high chance of drawing because obviously not many people commit too much to the board in the early games. But if they do commit, you're then taking resources off them because obviously you're then getting rid of it no matter where they put it, which is really good. But then you've got Blaster Dark on the other side of the scales, who's got the skills. When this unit is placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, you can Cat Blast 1 and retire another of your rearguards. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it, and this unit gets drive plus 1 to end a turn. And second skill is during your turn, if your rearguard was retired this turn, this unit gets power plus 5000. So the first skill is very Shadow Paladin-esque, because obviously Shadow Paladin back in V and OG series was retire your rearguards to gain skills. So this one is making it a 1-for-1 because you're retiring one of yours to retire one of your opponents, but you then gain a drive on top. I do want to stress, however, this doesn't actually provide the ability to drive check on the rearguard. For that, you will need to hit a Martinoa to actually get the twin drive. But this is more for aimed where you're using the ride line of like Phantom Blaster Dragon. And obviously, then gaining power for doing said retire is really nice as well. This does work as well when you overcall, because the unit was still retired. So if you call this over another unit, you do gain the 5k that way. But what else has the deck got to provide? Well, we have got the nice little bit of consistency for the deck in Little Sage Marin, who is also part of the ride line. Now, Marin's got the skill of, when this unit is rolled upon by a grade 2 with Blaster in its card name, you've got the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to one grade 2 with Blaster in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, choose a Wingle Brave from your soul and you may call it to Rearguard Circle. And the Rearguard skill, which we won't be using, is during your turn, if you have 3 or more units, it gets 10k. 2k, sorry. So it becomes 10k booster, but we're not fussed by that. Wingle Brave, for those that don't know, is the actual basic... Oops, that's not Wingle Brave. This is Wingle Brave, he's just the basic starter, just like all the other starters, but obviously, because of Little Sage Man, we are forced into Wingle Brave. But the best bit is Marin's got Blaster, not specific, so it can go Blade or Dark, so it does create flexibility for the deck. But then you're then searching for your blasters as well to then call to rearguard, use with MLB skill. Another bit of consistency that comes with the Blaster searching is the new promo that's only recently come out in English of Knight of Inheritance, Emmeline. So Emmeline's got the skill of, when his unit is placed on rearguard circle from hand, you can Soul Blast 1 to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with Blaster in its card name from hand, and call it your rearguard circle, or you can put it into your hand. If you put it into your hand, you then choose a card to discard. So this is nice. Yes, it's a smaller pool you're searching than the Marin, but you've also got the ability to get Majesty Lord Blast added to hand for Persona Rides, which is really nice. Then you've also got Emmeline's second skill on top of that, is when your unit with Blaster in its card name attacks, this unit gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. So, obviously, because she's just Blaster, 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 she's not tied to Majesty Lord Blaster. You can use her in Fat Blaster Dragon as well. But it's more focused for the fact of, obviously, with us being in here, we're swinging with our Blaster column first. We're then swinging with Majesty Lord Blaster, which then gives Emmeline the third swing, being a 10k boost, which is really solid for the deck. And what else have we got for the deck? Well, we have got the generic staple of Painkiller Angel. End of the battle, this unit boosted. Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, draw a card. So with all the sucking up you're doing from MLB, and then this retiring itself on top, you're then leaving yourself with 2 rear guards, which in the Gravidia matchup means that the Bucker Burritos aren't gaining a crit, which is really nice. Plus Painkillers utilising the soul that we don't use outside of Emmeline. And obviously Bedivere uses it as well, but we don't use him as much. But being able to turn itself into an extra card, removing it off the board, protecting itself even further, really nice for the deck. Seeing as we've mentioned him, we might as well talk about him now. And that is Knight of Loyalty, Bedivere. So Bedivere's got the skill of, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle from hand, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, you can Count Blast 1, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for up to one Knight of Friendship K, call it a rearguard circle in the same column and shuffle your deck. So obviously he searches for his partner in crime, which is good old Knight of Friendship K, who's got the skill of continuous rearguard circle. During the battle, this unit boosted Light of Loyalty Bedivere. This unit gets power plus 5,000. So these two together is a 1 card for Count Blast Soul Blast, making a 23k column, 33k Persona Ride. Really good, solid numbers. You can have this here on the 1 column, have your 1 Blaster Dart behind the Vanguard for it to eat up, then have a Painkiller and Emmeline column. But your Emmeline's then not getting so much power. So I do feel that once the deck gets more support, Bedivere and K will finally get weaned out. But for now, we are keeping them in the list. Obviously, you got 3 perfect guards with the generic skill of Aegis-Maya Dragon. We've then got our 1 Elementara Sanctitude. And then we've gone for 7 crits with 4 draws. Crits, obviously, the 2k does actually add up sometimes, because you can do the crits behind a 10k attacker to then put into soul in case you do end up somehow missing the plus 2k from Majesty Lord Blaster. You can then give the 2k via the crit, and it then pushes it up to 23k column when boosted by the Painkillers. Plus you're then soul blasting it out for using the Painkiller skill, so it helps with resource management, which is really nice for the deck. We have gone 4 draws because obviously we are still Peace Reliant in the deck. And obviously we are going for the effect draws because the extra shield is always going to be nice. Heals, we've gone 3 basic heals, and we have gone for 1 of the restat. Now we've gone for the crit heals. More for the fact of Evo is starting to show up more and more on the ladder at the moment, so the crit heals do become more preferential. Plus there is still Gravidia crits, and obviously in case of a rare circumstance, aim at Majesty Lord Blaster Mirror. But that is going to be it for the list. I shall see you back once we've found a game. Alright, and we are back to the game. They're using Shinobu, so I'm half expecting it to be good old Greedon, which could be interesting for a nice MLB matchup, but we'll wait and see. We do get to go first, which is really nice. It means we can start swinging with our crit pressure from turn 2. What's going back? You're going back. You're going back. And you're going back. Nice. I can really work with this hand. This is actually a really nice hand to play with. And it's actually not. It's Brandgate. So she's using Shinobu because Shinobu. I'm not going to say it is Prison until I've seen the Grade 1 ride. If it is Prison, I can actually have a lot more fun. Because we can then manipulate for the soul that they get, the board they're actually taking off me, and have a lot more. It is Prison. So, as you can tell by my icon, this is coming off the back of me recording the Seraph Snow one. So, having just used Prison to now face off against Prison is actually really amusing. So yeah, they're forced to call a soul crit just so they can rest something, which is absolutely fine. We have 15k shield out the hand. Soul charge heal, front and a gleamer. Yeah, I want the Count Blast. I can actually nuke the crit for all it's worth. Because soul is still a resource they need to manage. As for discarding, however, I think I'm going to go with the vanilla crit discard. We'll do Marin first. Okay. Get a Blast of Dark, which is really good. Permanent to them that we take the Blaster Dark and then use Blaster Blade. Count Blast 1. Burster Buster! Yeah! That's fun. Don't want to use that, but we do, however, want to utilise you to get an extra cycle out of it. And start draining our soul a bit. Because we want to leave our soul where it's key units in it that we're actually going to then gain bonuses out of. Plus this is also hitting magic numbers as well. Ooh, draw, so more hand advantage. We do need to, however, be careful of how much we use stuff like Painkiller. Because obviously they're going to be utilising Macarite and Cuff Spring. Which does decrease our deck size. We did get triggers out of it. Ooh, that Blast Dark actually is really useful at this point. Because I'm definitely going to be giving a Blast Dark off the Result Pink. Because we can then call the Blast Dark from the prison. There's Cuff Spring. I need to read you. Are you from hand or from anywhere? Both from hand, so no, we do want to keep Emmeline in our hand. We'll give him another Blast of Dark. And we draw a nice. We can actually utilise this really nicely. I want 1 damage. But then we can then guard with the heal for the Vanguard, so it's then over-trigger the pass. Ooh, drew another Blaster Dark. I think we're actually going to discard a Blaster Dark. Because of the deck we're against, we're going to be able to utilise them as a resource more, so we don't need so many of them. But let's see where Emmeline takes us first. Which obviously we Soul Blast Marin. Okay. MLB's our only target, so that's going to hand. But then we'll then discard a Blaster Dart from our hand. We'll then utilise the Prison to Counterblast. No, not count continuous ability 1, I want continuous ability 2. Counterblast. Cool, and we're going to make a column out of them. This is where the new promo that's just come out on the JP side would actually be really solid. I'm going to pop you here. And you here. Because we can actually make some really nice numbers here. And let's start swinging. So obviously Emmeline gains her 5k. We've got to keep a very close eye on the timer because we are obviously draining our timer more. That's fine, 5k intercept was expected. Then obviously 17. Emmeline gains her 5k again. Because now the blaster swung. And we'll use the MLB. Taking the front row one off. No guard, they're saying, that's fine. First check's another MLB, which is good. Second check is another MLB. Third check is K. So that's fine. First check, no trigger. Second check's perfect guards. That's really good. We're going to utilise the crit to give 2k to Emmeline. Because then this is then a 30k swinging at the Vanguard. Which is really not nice numbers. Because it's over the 20k fronts. So it's forcing 2 cards or they're going to 4. They get a crit, which is fine, because we're finished attacking now. But we do all use paint. No, not Soul Blasting that, because we want to keep the defensive power. And sacrifice itself. So we're then limiting what they actually have access to for putting into the prison. Yep, they're going to put Sarah Snow to take my 2 rear guards, that's fine. Because it then forces a, Makarite to take the last slot. Ideally, if I can, I'd like to save the Sanctitude for next turn. But I more than likely will end up taking the Vanguard swing. Okay, they're going to be ploughing at it with the Makarites. They took a crit and a perfect guard, so it's slightly annoying. We'll take the Vanguard swing. There's the pure light that we were worried about. And that one that needs me to have so much in prison. And they do get a front. We get a crit defensive, which is nice. That makes things easier to guard. I think what our plan's going to be is I'll go to 4. And then go from there. Yep. And we're going 5k block with the rear guard. Stop that. Oh, and we got Blaster Blade as well, so I can actually take out an intercept. Not calling Final Turn this time because their hand size pretty much screams I'm not going to be getting through. So I'd rather just apply pressure this turn. Continuous ability 2. We're going to Counter Blast 1 to take back my Blaster Blade and my Emmeline. Like that. Don't activate Blaster Dart because I don't want to retire Emmeline. But we're then going to call down Blaster Blade, which will then be sucked up anyway. Yeah, we'll activate that. Counter Blast 1. Take out one of his intercepts. So it means he then can't double intercept for Blaster Darts. Attack. That swings in. Emmeline gains her 5k. I know it does block us off with our heals here. So it is me being very risky. But nope, he blocks that one. Which I've got no issues with whatsoever. We then swing with this. We're then going to use both skills. Well, first of all, activate Emmeline. Then activate MLB. Suck in a Blaster Blade to take out the intercept. Suck in a Blaster Dart to gain the drive check. Now we've got 25k with the crit and the triple drive. He reveals the over trigger, which is now a godsend for us. First check's no trigger. Second check, no. What is it with me and trigger luck? Third check. Okay. We are still going to push him to 5 though. Because there's no reason for them to not do it. And because how we've built up our board, they're not going to get anywhere near to the 10. So we're going to give them from hand an MLB, because it's nothing to us, and one of our Ks. Rearguard will give them that. From Soul, we'll give them one of each of the blasters. Which we can easily rebuild all of that back down again for no issues whatsoever. That's 1. What do they get? Oh, they hit a draw trigger. What does it say? During this battle attacked. Let me read you first. I cannot call normal units and blitzes. That's fine, because I've got enough triggers in hand to deal with that anyway. Nope, we don't want to pay the cost. Because you're grade 4. We've got plenty of shield to deal with the other rearguard. If we need to. If it doesn't get a crit, then I'm not going to even bother worrying about blocking it. Perfect guard. And a draw trigger. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I don't need the counter blast. Let's do it. Final turn. And we drew Blaster Dark, even better. Blaster Blade, even. We're going to call you here. Don't activate skill. Oops, no, that's the one I want. Continuous ability. Soul Blast out one of our MLBs. Gain Blaster Blade off. This is actually quite hard to do on the controller. Soul Blast out another MLB. To get our Blaster Darko. And we'll call this down here just so it hits massive, massive numbers. Because yes, we know we've got our Over Trigger in hand, but he doesn't know that yet. That's fine. You really mucked up by not taking out the intercept. Emmeline gains the 5k again. Yeah, now force them to have double perf for Vanguard or a lot of shield. Because obviously we've been dry on our checks. And we've still got that leeway to play with of the 1 damage. There's a Pure Light discard. Beautiful. First check, nothing. Second check. Still nothing. Third check. Draw. That's something at least. And then 48k at that. That's a lot of guard you're going to need, buddy. There's another perfect guard out of them, which is fine. So, well, we drew Emmeline off of the redraw. Fair enough. Now they're doing their final turn. Yep, there's another Pure Light. This is going to hurt a little bit, but not too badly. Because we still stay out of 15k base. You can have... no, I'll keep the Emmeline, because I still feel that we're going to be called... I think we're going to live this turn, personally. Because we're still in a very good position. And the fact that we've not seen many triggers. Shovel's starting to dig that little bit further, trying to find something to make it a 3 attack turn. Nope, they have to call another Pure Light because they haven't got enough. That's fine. So the Vanguard's currently the smallest, which is the most amusing. Trigger makes it 65, which is... No, 3 to pass. That's 20... I think I take this, so I can then block the other 2. Yeah. Just rely they don't crit. of course, we now need a double heal. But if we hit 3 triggers, I'll be very happy, honestly. 2 being heals. Didn't want to heal there. Did not want to heal there, game. Yeah, one lower would have been nicer. That one works. Come on, one more. One more. Nope. Not that lucky, unfortunately. Alright, well that was the game. Didn't do too bad, honestly. Because you've got to think of the power level MLB is still relatively low because we haven't got that last promo yet. Which I'm hoping they add, because they had more promos with the Set 6 update. But if they do, then we get into a better position. We were able to quite nicely control the prison. And manipulating the getting blasted arcs and blades from soul to butt prison, back to board again, back into soul again for the matchup, which was really solid. Our only issue we had was the fact of we don't have pressure if we don't have triggers in this deck. Whereas the likes of Leonor, where you've still got 4 attacks and you've still got big numbers, with 3 attacks with 1 small number, 1 medium-sized number, 1 big number. So we haven't got any threats if we don't have the triggers. But that is going to be it for this video. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. It very much does help the channel. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.